So today I will be talking about the domestication of dogs. There are several theories about how dogs were domesticated, and it's been highly debated where they were domesticated, how long ago, and there are several different physical changes that have come along with the domestication of the dog. So the first theory that we'll be talking about today is the relationship between hunters and wolves. So it's theorized that about 30,000 years ago, wolves were domesticated, and that was because humans and wolves were in competition with each other for food. And through this competition, they kind of formed a bond and helped each other hunt. And through that bond, the wolf slowly began to be domesticated. But it is still unknown where these wolves were domesticated. Some believe that there was one single domestication in Asia, and others believe that it was in Europe. And there's evidence for both sides, but we still don't know which side is true. The second theory is the hunter-scavenger theory. This is the one that I personally believe in, and it's not the one that most people think of when they first think of the domestication of the dog. So around the Neolithic Revolution, once people started settling down, creating villages, they needed somewhere to put their garbage and somewhere to put their waste. So they would put that on the outskirts of town, and the wolves would come and they would eat that waste. So the more comfortable these wolves were with humans, the higher chance they had at survival. So if a human were around and they were eating garbage, if they didn't run away, the more food was available for them. And as this happened, the more friendlier dogs were more used to humans, and as they became more used to humans, they slowly became domesticated, and these humans used them for different purposes. So, as the dog was domesticated, several physical changes occurred. The more friendly a dog is, it is clear that the tail will go from being drooped to being upward. Their coats will change, their ears will change, and this is shown clearly in the Russian experiment when they tried to domesticate the fox. So it started as the black Russian fox, and slowly over time, over the course of 20 years of this experiment, they chose like the 10% of the foxes that showed the most friendly characteristics. So when they would stick their hand into the cage, they would either sniff instead of being aggressive or backing away. And as this happened, the ears started to change, the coat started to change, the tail started to change. And so these traits are directly correlated with a dog being domesticated. It is also clear that nowadays dogs can hardly function on their own. Wolves used to be able to hunt on their own, find their own food. They didn't need someone else to come and help them besides their pack. And as they became more used to humans and dependent on humans, they were no longer able to do that. Now if you present a dog with a problem, they'll look at you until they solve it. And this has taken away the entire pack mentality of what wolves used to have. So some may see this as a downside, some may see this as an upside, because now we can take those dogs and train them to do other things like bomb sniffing, searching for drugs, AIDS, a bunch of different things that weren't able to be used that they weren't able to do before. Despite what you think, but comparing the two different theories, one of them had to happen in order for the dog to be domesticated. Hopefully this gives you more information about the two sides and you can decide which you think is best. Thank you.